Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is The Defenders. Let's start with Jessica Jones. Now, she's been binge drinking instead of running her detective business, but this wife comes like, hey, help find my missing husband. She's not going to do it, but then she gets a call like, don't find her husband, and she's like, well, now I have to. So she tracks him down, and he's got a ton of explosives. What? Then he's in her apartment, and he's like, I told you not to track me. But then someone else busts in there and kills him with a katana. What? That's right, it's Elektra, back from the dead, and she's working with the villain this season, Sigourney Weaver. So Elektra died in Daredevil Season 2, but the Hand took her and put her in the weird sarcophagus, poured the blood in there, and boom, she's back to life. I guess that's what they do. The Hand wanted her because they believe she's the Black Sky, their legendary fighter. Elektra was a good fighter before, but now she's a goddess of death. Sigourney's character is Alexandra, and she's the big head honcho of the Hand. She even bosses around Madame Gao, and whatever their nefarious plan is this season, it causes like a big earthquake in New York City. Now it's Luke Cage. He went to prison at the end of his show, but they clear his name with the help of superstar lawyer Foggy, so he's back in Harlem, and he meets up with Claire the nurse, who had a romance arc in his show, and these two get it on! He meets with Detective Misty Knight, who says a bunch of Harlem kids getting killed working for some new gang. Luke Cage tracks him to this guy in a white suit. Now it's Danny Rand, the immortal Iron Fist. He and his girlfriend Colleen been hunting down the Hand. They found out there's a bunch of other enemies of the Hand living in New York, but when they get there, they're all dead already. The cleanup crew comes, Danny grabs one, but it's just the kid from Harlem who Luke Cage was there to protect. Danny finds out that karate doesn't work on Luke Cage. He's like, what about the Iron Fist? Boom! Oh, ouch. Yeah, that one worked. They realize they've got Claire as a mutual friend, so they meet up, swap backstories. Danny's like, yeah, I punched a dragon, and that's how I got my superpowers. What? Anyway, Danny decides to ditch the kung fu and use his billionaire powers to take down the Hand in the business world. Unfortunately, the board of directors are all trained ninjas, so they do some more kung fu. Then Luke Cage busts in. He's a handy guy to have in a gunfight. Then Jessica and Daredevil show up too. See, the guy she was hired to find was the architect of the Hand's headquarters, and that's the building he was going to blow up. And Daredevil was her lawyer at one point and just sort of followed her around. But anyway, it's time for a hallway fight! Yeah! Elektra shows up and beats up Daredevil. He's like, what, Elektra, you're alive? But she doesn't remember anything. She's going to kill him, but Iron Fist stops her for now. And the Defenders have assembled. I guess assembled is the Avengers thing. I guess the Defenders just kind of like meet up and hang out. They hide out in a Chinese restaurant, swap backstories, become BFFs, but then Stick shows up to be their mysterious grumpy old man mentor. Earlier he was captured by Alexandra, but Stick's crazy. He busts out of there, cuts off his own hand to escape. Alexandra shows up right after him. She reveals that for the Hand's nefarious plan, they need the Iron Fist alive. A bunch of henchmen bust in, they have a big fight. Matt finds Elektra outside and is like, don't be evil, baby, I love you. And she like starts to remember who she is, so she disappears. Long story short, the gang captured the African guy in the white suit from before. He's one of the 5 fingers of the Hand. That's how they call their leaders. He almost escapes, but Stick cuts his head off. He sends the head to the other leaders of the Hand. Now the Hand leaders are freaked out because they're used to being immortal. Case in point, Bakuda was killed in Iron Fist, but he's back now. The blood stuff they used to resurrect Elektra, they call it the substance, and the thing is they're out. Their nefarious plan is to use the Iron Fist to open some sort of doorway where there's more of the substance. Now that Stick knows the Hand needs the Iron Fist, he's like, Danny, we gotta hide you away. And Danny's like, I don't want to hide, I want to fight. So he and Daredevil do some karate, and it ends when Iron Fist punches Luke Cage. Big shockwave, everyone's knocked out. They tie up Danny so the Hand can't get him. Daredevil remembers in his season 2, he found a big hole in the ground right under the building where the Hand headquarters is, and Jessica finds the blueprints of her architect. Turns out they're doing something big down there, that's why he wanted to blow up the building. Meanwhile, Stick smokes out Luke Cage. His stuff is so dank, Luke just straight passes out. And Stick's like, sorry kid, but if the Hand needs you to save the world, I'm gonna kill you. Just then Elektra pops in, she fights Stick, and she kills him. Oh, her father figure mentor of all those years. She beats up the rest of the Defenders and takes Danny to the Hand, but then she's like, I'm sick of taking orders. Oh, stabs Alexandra. Oh, she's like, hey, the rest of you guys, I'm in charge now. The Defenders all got picked up by the cops. Misty's like, yo, tell us what's going on. Instead, they decide to bust out of there, so they all put on their super suits and go back to the Hand headquarters. They have a 3v3 with the Hand leaders. Madame Gao, by the way, has super psychic car-pushing powers. Then Colleen shows up, makes it a foursome, so the Hand bails. Elektra takes Danny deep underground, like, hey, punch this wall for me. He's like, what? No way. I'm gonna punch you instead. But she grabs his hand, puts it into the wall, and he's like, oof, I messed up big time there. Turns out what's in there is a literal dragon skeleton. Madame Gao explains, yeah, it's dragon bones. That's a substance that lets us live forever. And the stakes are raised, though, because if they remove it, New York will crumble into dust. Colleen grabbed all the explosives from the evidence locker, so she and Claire go to blow this building up. Bakuda shows up. They have a little sword fight. Misty Knight shows up. She's like, what I miss? Oh, my arm's cut off by a samurai sword. Did not not see that coming. Colleen beheads Bakuda, theoretically for good this time. The rest of the Defenders going down, where the entire Hand army is waiting for them, so it's a big old fight scene. Long story short, the Defenders win. They're going to escape, but Daredevil's like, no, leave me behind. I have to talk to Elektra. They fight for a bit, then he's like, baby, don't be evil, I love you. And she's like, but I like being evil, but I do love you too, so these two start making out. Just then the bomb explodes, so the whole building comes crashing down, and Elektra and Daredevil get buried alive together. So the day is saved, mostly, except Daredevil died, and Misty got her arm cut off. It's fine though, she's gonna get a sweet robot one. And Iron Fist takes up Daredevil's mantle of Defender of New York, except Daredevil survived! He was picked up by a random group of nuns, apparently, and that's how the Defenders comes to an end.